Hello, Esther. Thank you so much for being here and agreeing to have a chat about LinkedIn and our exciting LinkedIn day together.
Hi, Vanda. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I love talking about LinkedIn.
I thought we should introduce ourselves because maybe people discover this video on somewhere on the internet and never heard about us. So first, my name is Vanda Szabo and I'm a branding photographer for women who hate to have their photos taken. And as a branding photographer, my aim is to show who you are as a person behind your brand so you can connect with your audience on a deeper level and translate your story into beautiful images. And very often, this experience leads you to be more confident and more motivated in your business as well. Um, I officially launched my business 3 years ago when I relocated from London to Worcester, and I didn't know a single soul. And as so, you were one of the first people I met, and I'm forever grateful for the universe to brought us together. Um, so tell me who you are, please.
Oh, hello, I'm Esther, and I wear lots of hats. But about probably 6 or 7 years ago, I set up a business which was helping people who didn't grow up with smartphones get to use social media in their businesses effectively, because it can be a pretty scary place out there if you're my kind of age and stage. But also I find that lots of younger people are now brought up with smartphones, but they're still not sure how they can actually tap into social media to drive their businesses forward. They know how technically it works in terms of like posting and creating reels and stuff. But what's the strategy behind getting new business from their social media profiles? Over the years, my business has evolved and changed and pivoted as businesses do, and I'm now very much focused on LinkedIn, because I think it's a great place for everyone to be. And LinkedIn is quite a simple platform to get your head around technically, but it gives you access to a whole load of different people.
Yes,
And
absolutely. I
I think
remember when we met, you were focusing on lots of social media platform or general social media, but maybe around 2 years ago you started um, specializing to LinkedIn. Um, I remember when I had the idea around 5 years ago to set up my own business, I went with Instagram because that was the visual platform. And I used to be a practice manager on Harley Street. So I had a really nice LinkedIn professional profile, and recruiters regularly sent me job offers. So it didn't even come to my mind to start with LinkedIn because I completely self-taught myself in photography, so probably I didn't feel professional enough to didn't have like fancy qualifications, or I was completely new to the area as well. So firstly, I didn't even come to my mind to go with LinkedIn, so I went with Instagram. But I realized that um, the audience I was building, they were not ready to buy from me, and I was if I think about why I go to Instagram is to entertain my mind, switch off my mind, to look at stupid videos, not to look for business. So that's why one of the reasons I decided to go with LinkedIn and try out, because I work with businesses, so my ideal clients are there. But do you think everyone's ideal clients are there on LinkedIn as
I
well?
think that LinkedIn is like having the best business conference in your pocket 24/7, because it's not an open platform like Instagram, it's a closed platform. So you have to accept people that you want to have that connection with you. So you can be really strategic about the people that you want to connect with on LinkedIn. And I think so from that perspective, if you're really clear about who your target audience is, potential businesses that you want to collaborate with, potential suppliers, perhaps. You know, you might have 3 or 4 different target audiences, but yes, you can be very specific on LinkedIn about making sure that your, if you like, your LinkedIn ecosystem revolves around that kind of target audience.
What would you say to, I get this question all the time, oh, LinkedIn is too corporate. What's your opinion on that?
Absolutely not. So I wouldn't necessarily post my breakfast on LinkedIn, because you'll get people saying, oh, this isn't Facebook. But you will get people who are out walking their dog, making a video. You get people, you know, sharing quite personal stories about them and their families, and maybe they're caring for elderly relatives, or they've got young children. And you know, we all find ourselves not just as a business person, but we have various different things going on in our lives as well. And then the authenticity of that comes through on our LinkedIn posts. So absolutely, yes, it is, I suppose, a bit more kind of corporate, but there's nothing to stop you being your real authentic self on LinkedIn. And that's the way that you make really deep connections with people and build relationships.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love the newsletter feature on LinkedIn. Basically, I hardly posted anything last year because I was experimenting with the LinkedIn newsletter, and using LinkedIn newsletter and my regular newsletter as my main connection with my audience, and I just absolutely love it. Can you just tell a little bit about the newsletter? What's your opinion on that?
Yes, I absolutely love LinkedIn newsletters, because you can create your content, and then LinkedIn do the kind of heavy lifting to put your newsletter in front of people who may not necessarily already be connected with you, but who could be your target audience. So once you've got your list of people who've subscribed to your LinkedIn newsletter, when you go through, you'll find that some of them are 2nd degree connections and 3rd. And then you can make a decision about whether you want to welcome those people into your LinkedIn ecosystem by offering them a connection. So quite quickly, you can build up big numbers on your LinkedIn newsletter. So there's people that I'm working with, and one day they launch their LinkedIn newsletter, and by the end of the week, they could easily have hundreds of LinkedIn subscribers, which you can't really do if you're growing your own kind of MailChimp or MailerLite list, and you're kind of adding one person at a time. It seems a very kind of slow burn in comparison.
Yeah, so I think that's similar happened to me. When I released my first issue, I had 100 subscribers within a week or two. So yeah, it's really great. And it's also great I think you can have 5 LinkedIn newsletters. So yeah,
On your company page now, yes, you can have 5. So if, for example, you'd got different target audiences, you could put different content out for each of those target audiences. I personally think for a small business, having 5 LinkedIn newsletters would be kind
yes,
of too
bit
much.
overwhelming.
But let's start with one and kind of grow that and see how it
Yes. um what was my next? So last year, I had an idea of hosting LinkedIn profile makeover days, and you immediately came to my mind and asked you if you wanted to collaborate with me on this project. And very kindly you said, yes, absolutely, let's do it. So I wanted to explain a little bit about these LinkedIn profile makeover days, and share a few success stories from last year, so then our audience could understand a little bit behind it. But my idea is I wanted to create a training day when people come, and by the end of the day they have a completely renewed profile. Whatever they learn, they implement on the day. So when they go home, Obviously, they don't get the photos on the same day, but they have a very great start to up-level the LinkedIn presence. Because so many times I attended training days and they were amazing, but never implemented what I learned because I didn't allocate time for it, and that's it. And I went home and I couldn't ask my specific questions. So I wanted to create an opposite. When you come, you can ask specific questions from the trainer, hand-holding space. And I think we absolutely nailed it last year. So what was your experience?
I absolutely loved it. I think it's such a good idea. I'm exactly the same as you. You go on a training course, you think, oh, this is great. I'm learning all this stuff and I'm making loads of notes. And then you get back into your day job or whatever, and you don't actually put any of that into practice. And then a month later, you think, do you know what? I can't remember how they told me I was supposed to do that. And now I've kind of lost that knowledge. So I think, yes, having the space on the day to actually make changes and implement things and work through a bit of a kind of process, I think worked really well for our the ladies that came on the LinkedIn day. And I think, it just makes such a difference where you can focus on your profile and make immediate changes.
Yes, and I absolutely love how the ladies, you and me have really similar values in terms of love connecting people together and really love helping people. And I just love the way the ladies who come to these training days, they send contacts and clients to each other, and they participate in each other's photo shoots. Actually, I forgot to share what exactly a LinkedIn profile makeover is. Basically, it's a LinkedIn training day combined with a branding photo shoot. So it's basically what it says on the tin, completely transforming your LinkedIn profile. So shall we share a little bit about the ladies who came last year and who is it for?
Okay, so it's for women who run their own businesses predominantly. They may have come out of a corporate background and had a corporate LinkedIn profile, but now they want to change that up to now reflect the fact that they're working in their own business. And so we had a lady called Sarah who had been in pharmaceutical sales for a very long time, was very successful. And she has now started a home staging business. And so she wanted some colour and some drama and some creativity into her LinkedIn profile, and to find people she could connect with for her new role, but not necessarily kind of ditch everybody from her kind of previous life, because sometimes you don't know who knows who and how those connections are going to play out in the future. And I can remember that you did some really quite kind of dramatic photos with her. There were kind of pillow fights and all sorts of things going on. I just think, it's having that time and space to not necessarily overthink what do I want to get from these photos, but just kind of going with the flow and seeing how things unfold and thinking, oh, do you think we could just try this, or kind of what do you think about that? And from my perspective, kind of watching some of those photo shoots, the exuberance of people and their personality really came through, which you don't necessarily get if you're having a static headshot with a blank wall behind you and a light in your face kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the ways to stand out on LinkedIn is with your profile photo. And if your profile photo, I always say your profile photo should be something like a shop window. I used to work on Harley Street, so in London. So after work, I often went to Oxford Street, and always went into Selfridges, even if I didn't buy anything, but because I loved their display. So that's the effect your profile photo should encourage people to do, to to become more curious about you, and not, you know, those very stand here and smile photos not always have that effect. So yes.
And I think if you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, you find a lot of people haven't got a professional headshot, and so they might be at a wedding and they've got their partner cut off, or they
Oh
might
yes.
be
Oh my God,
or
yes.
whatever. Or you can definitely tell if it's a selfie, or the people have like tried to edit it themselves, and they actually, when you meet them in real life, their picture is nothing like them. Maybe they took it a long time ago and their hair's gone grey or whatever, and they, you know, so you think your profile photo is so important, because when you meet people out and about and networking, you've got to be instantly memorable. There's a billion people now on LinkedIn, and one of the things we have to think about is how can we differentiate ourselves from everybody else that's out there on LinkedIn. And on your one of your last LinkedIn training days, we had Emma, who's an HR consultant, and there are so many HR consultants on LinkedIn. So you've got to do something where your personality comes through, and so you stand out from all of the other HR consultants. What makes you different? What makes you special? And some of that will come through the kind of wording and the way that you structure your profile, but a lot of that will come through from the images that you use.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the content Emma creates. It's really fun. Then we had one of our clients, for Becky, who is founder of a Pilates studio, and she didn't have a LinkedIn presence before she came, but wanted to explore a new platform, for a more professional platform for herself. And now she's coming back for transforming her company profile as well. So we she started her newsletter as well. So I'm really proud of all of the ladies who came last year. Like, or that we had Ava, who a holistic therapist. She didn't have a LinkedIn presence, but now she's really active on there, and just amazing to see their progress. A couple of them felt that it was too corporate, but then they understood that it's basically not. And because not many people from the holistic industry on LinkedIn yet, I think it's easier also to stand out. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. And also I think that we think, oh, LinkedIn's corporate and it's businesses, but if I'm running a business, I am maybe that business, but I'm still a person, and I may still need to know about a Pilates studio, or I may want to explore some holistic therapy. And if I'm on Instagram or on Facebook, I'm not there necessarily, as you said earlier, you're there to maybe kind of turn your brain off a bit and scroll through some kind of funny videos. On LinkedIn, people are on LinkedIn to do business. And so if somebody pops up and they're a holistic therapist, or they're a florist, or maybe I'm planning a party and they're an event planner, something like that, that's a really good place for me to see them popping up, because I'm like, oh yeah, I need someone that will do that for me. And you can easily make that kind of messaging and connection, and explore their profile and see what they're about, see what kind of reviews and testimonials they've got. It's a great place, whether you're B2B or B2C. I think it's a really great place to have those ongoing connections.
Absolutely. And not everyone on LinkedIn is a business owner. Lots of people are employed, but still they still need a holistic therapist. Not business owners needs only therapists or Pilates studios. I really believe that everyone's ideal client is on LinkedIn. I just wanted to explain a little bit about how the structure of the day. And last year I hosted these days slightly differently what we are doing now this year, because I felt I needed to adapt to the market changes, recent market changes. I noticed that this year lots of people were experiencing sales going down, and so I wanted to make it my LinkedIn days a bit more affordable, but without losing any of the values. So last year I rented out a beautiful house, so we had an exclusive use of the venue. We provided lunch, I provided a makeup artist, we had the full day together, and it was amazing. But this year I had a couple of feedbacks that people wanted to come, but they felt it was a stretch for them because the sales were slower this year. So I decided to make some changes, but the value is going to remain. The location is in Malvern. We won't have exclusive access to a venue, but it's still a really beautiful house and very quiet. So it's almost like having a exclusive venue for us. And this time I'm not going to bring a makeup artist in to make it more affordable. If someone would like to add that an extra, they have the option to do it. And probably also I reduced the amount of photos I give, so we will focus on updating the profile photo, head, a banner, whatever they want to focus on as well. And shall we chat about the structure of the day, how it usually work out?
Yes, so I think what tends to happen is everybody kind of arrives and introduces themselves, and we have coffee and a good kind of chat. But some of that isn't particularly necessary on the day because we tend to have a kind of get to know each other exploratory call in advance, and that's really useful for me because it means that I can have a look at people's profiles before the day and give people a bit of kind of pre-work to do to think about who
Yes.
their target customer is likely to be, and just kind of think about what they want to get out of their LinkedIn profile. How do they want their LinkedIn profile to make a difference in their business? Is it going to be about leads and sales? Is it about expanding their network? It's almost like starting with the end in mind. What do you want LinkedIn to do for you in your business? And I think once people are kind of clear about that, then it means that they've got, when we're working on the kind of the messaging for their page, they'll have a much clearer idea about what it is that they want to say and how they want to get that message across. So you'll tend to take people off kind of one at a time to do photos, whereas I'm working with the group and also with people kind of one-to-one, answering any specific questions they've got about LinkedIn. This time we're going to be much more focused on building a LinkedIn company page, although if people do come with issues on their personal profile, I'm really happy to handle those as well. I think it's important to have both. I think you should have a personal profile and a company page, because it does really help you to come across as more kind of credible and to build your network around your company, so that in the future, when you're kind of growing and taking on staff, you've got that kind of capacity to talk about your culture and your ethos and your values. But also you can be much more kind of salesy and promotional on your LinkedIn company page rather than on your personal page. I think though having both kind of almost doubles your potential about being seen. And one thing we haven't talked about, which I kind of want to add, is the fact that Google indexes LinkedIn. So if somebody puts, for example, your company name into Google, they may come up with your website, but they may also come up with your LinkedIn company page. So it really helps with getting found in search, which I think is important as things get harder and harder to get found on.
Absolutely. Even the LinkedIn newsletter, I recently discovered that you can SEO optimize it. So I went back and SEO optimized all my newsletters. So it really helps you to to be more discoverable
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
social media. If I could say the word. I forgot to ask you this question. What do you suggest to people to improve their personal LinkedIn profile or company page? What do you want to? Until now, I use my personal profile to build an audience, but recently, obviously, I have to practice what I preach. So, in the last 2 months, I started using more my company page as well. Which one do you suggest? Which one is good for building audiences? And obviously it depends on the company, but yeah, what is your opinion on this?
Well, I would suggest that you need to do both. Have your personal profile and your company page. But if we think about what you want to get out of it, so on your personal page, you want to build up those personal, authentic connections. But on your company page, you can talk about what your business does and your ethos and how you help people, and maybe have more kind of case studies and testimonials. And so you can use both in tandem to expand your reach.
Okay. Yes, and the modification I did from last year. Last year we focused on personal profile, helping your transforming your personal profile. But now I created 3 types of LinkedIn profile makeover day. One is helping you with your personal profile, another one helping with the company page, and the third one is helping setting up your LinkedIn newsletter, because there's so much information that you can't even cover within one day. So that's why our next LinkedIn profile makeover day is going to be on Tuesday, the 2nd of July, from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. The location is in Malvern, in the beautiful Elmslie house, and your investment is £500, and it includes the training, a micro branding photo shoot with me, including 3 images. There is an option to purchase more if you wish. It includes also refreshments and networking opportunities. So if you are interested, please email me on info@vsphotography.co.uk, or try to connect with Esther or with me on LinkedIn, and we can give you more information. I'll send you the booking link.
It'd be great to see you there. I'm very excited.
Yes, me too. So thank you so much for your chat, Esther. And as we said, if you have any question, please get in touch, and looking forward to working with you guys. Have a lovely day, Esther.
Bye.
Bye.